What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another search engine optimization tip video. In today's tip video, I'll be showing you basically around the new feature that Google launched called Questions Hub. So if you haven't heard of Questions Hub, it is a new feature or tool launched by Google that will allow publishers to basically find queries that have been unanswered on Google. So Google launched this as a way to better serve content to those unanswered queries that it records and tracks in its own database, and then feed that information to publishers so that they can either answer those queries or write new content to help answer that query. It's very simple to utilize. Basically just add your questions or your topics that you want to track. So for example, if you were in the mortgage industry, you could do something like home buying as a topic or niche to track, or a question to track. And then you would just add a number of questions that have gone unanswered for anything relating to home buying. So let's go back to done. And so this will basically just feed any questions that relate to the topic home buying. And as you can see, this Questions Hub is kind of in its infancy as a beta tool. So some of these are just not remotely relevant to that main query, whereas others kind of are. So if I go to another tab, then you can kind of see some things like, what does ads active non-dropdown mean on an SMM panel? If you go into social media, a couple different things here that have gone unanswered. So how can you ask webmasters to update their SEO? Or do Pixabay images hurt SEO of WordPress site if they aren't your pictures? So again, some of those questions aren't remotely related, whereas others you can use as pain points from users that have not been answered to create your own content. So I might pick a question like this and write it content surrounding using stock images, and maybe plug in some results of there's no impact and doesn't hurt your SEO, or studies find that creating original images is good for your Google image results, something like that. And the cool thing with Question Hub is that you can directly answer those queries. I don't believe the users who submitted these queries are notified of the URL that's submitted on your end. But what it does is it gives that URL to Google to then feed into its algorithm for you to potentially rank for that keyword. So all you have to do is just answer and then submit a link to your URL. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a new article either. If you have content that might already answer that question, you can submit that existing content as well. But once that content is submitted, then you can go in here and track it via the Performance tab on Questions Hub. And this will pull information from your Search Console account on Google. And it'll show the number of clicks and impressions that article has received after submitting it to answer that query. And then you can also track, top search queries or question that was answered when you submitted that URL. So really cool stuff there. That's pretty much a rundown of what Question Hub is. It also has one caveat. You need to use a Google account. You can't use G Suite to sign up. And it's also preferred that you have a Search Console account associated with the email address in which you're signing up for Question Hub. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next search engine optimization tip video.